One of the best white dwarfs in a while is here for December.
Spiky bits.
Welcome back, hobby maniacs. We are checking out the brand new December 2018 White Dwarf, and as you can tell here, it comes with a bunch of goodies. Here is a list of everything it comes with, in addition to the magazine itself. So you're going to get the Gargant card, which is actually oversized. I'll show you here in a second. And a whole bunch of other stuff. A booster card for Warhammer Champions, cards for Doomseeker, the board game, Battle for McCrag. I don't even know what some of this stuff is. 5 exclusive card for Space Marine Adventures. That's the board game at Barnes & Noble. So, and a Blackstone Fortress card right here too. So lots and lots of stuff in here. Now, the White Dwarf, I'll be honest, I've kind of... and exclusive rules for Necromunda, as well as the data cards that you can photograph for Titanicus, if you were wondering what the rules are for the Cerastus Knights. Because there's actually, besides ordering them direct order, there was actually no way to get the rules for them themselves besides this. So these look like the cards for... what is this? Space Marine Adventures game, board game. So Steadfast Defender, Artisan of War, Hunter Unleashed. These are all the guys that come in a box, it looks like. And then a couple of rando ones, Selfless Valor and Master Strategist. Kind of cool. Now, this is what I like to see in a White Dwarf, because to be quite honest, and we've done some articles on this and things, at this point in 2018, it almost seems like the White Dwarf has become irrelevant. Oh, this is just, okay, the Minstorm artifact. It almost seems like in ways, and this is just my opinion here, so, obviously... take it for what it's worth, but it almost seems like it's become irrelevant in this day and age, because all of the the first third of the magazine is almost advertisements. Here's the Chaos Gargant card. You can tell it's definitely oversized from the normal size card. This is a team, you want to do a team game to play this, which is, it's kind of cool. I mean, this is 4 dice, doing 3 and 4 damage. He will definitely one-shot a lot of characters. Inspire when this fighter has 13, 16, or 20 more wound tokens on this. Holy cow. So these are the different, depending on how many players you're playing with, this is how many wounds he has. So that's kind of cool. So it looks like it's good for up to 2, 3, or 4 players. Neat. I actually want to do this. And it comes, there's some additional rules in here with how to run him and his movement and such, things like that. So long story short, I feel like White Dwarf needs to come with a bunch of bonus material. It comes with a lot of paint splatters and stuff in here, which is really great to see, because like I said, some of the stuff's been lackluster as of late. Here's the Necromunda gaming supplement. So if you're looking for the new gang rules, they are in here. Or of course, you can get the new gang book along with the compilation rules set. That it's only been a year, but there's been a lot of changes in FAQs and stuff, and you can pick that up this week as well. It is the new release. So moving on into Planet Warhammer, this is where they're going to have everything in here about what's coming out soon, which we've already seen. Like I said, they seem to hold kind of the second half of the month's worth of stuff and keep it out of here, which I kind of understand, because they want to preview it on Warhammer Community, but I feel like at that point you really need to give folks a value in this book. And I don't feel like as of late, this issue definitely, but previous issues, I just don't feel like we've gotten that value. Again, that's my opinion. There's a lot of folks that buy this magazine, they love it, they read through it, and it's just, that's what they do every month. But I can see where a lot of folks would be like, why do I need to get the White Dwarf? I'm only going to get it if it's got my army in it, etc., etc. So just take that with a grain of salt. Personal opinion right there, just something to talk about. So again, a lot of stuff in here. There's the Gangs of the Underhive book and the new rule book. Of course, we know Chapter Approved is coming out next week. We've seen tons of previews. Really, there's nothing in here that we haven't seen at this point, right? So that's the issue. That's why folks are like, hey, if you're gonna put a bunch of ads in here, have ads for stuff that's new, not ads to stuff that's already out and I've already seen, like literally. So I get both sides of the coin. And in my editorial we actually talked about how perhaps taking the White Dwarf staff and retasking them, putting them on, hey, maybe generating rules content or coming up with some sort of other content to help enrich the games out there that we so desperately, depending on who you talk to, like, oh, we need new content for this, or oh, this needs to be balanced, or oh, this, or oh, that. And, sure, you can't address every person. I get it. But it almost seems like resources could be spent elsewhere, unless I feel like White Dwarf is trying to come out with multiples of these copies where you get so much dope content in each one. You get bonus cards, you get, you know, rule supplements. Now I get, you don't want to put 40k rule supplements in here every month because then it starts to get bloated all over again. That's a whole nother issue altogether. I'm just saying there's a better way, and I feel like this issue is definitely a step in the right direction. Long story short, 5 minutes into the video, that's it, just turn it off now. All right, licensed games, lots of cool stuff in here. I've heard good things about Mechanicus. We know that there is a new Visions of Heresy book coming out. The Titan Death hardcover novel for $30 is coming out. Visions of Heresy is actually a really good one. I had the first one that came out in 2008. There was a one that came out. It was a collection of them. They did separate, and then they did compilation in like 2013, and now 5 years later they're coming out again with, you know, a collection of more of some of the covers and things that, and some of the artwork that's come out since. So it seems like every 5 years or so they update it, and that's really neat. Temporal Distort and things like that, that's all great. They're talking, in here they do a bunch of battle reps on Blackstone Fortress, which is cool. Some, you know, some stuff with Jervis Johnson and different things. And then you got the Golden Demon, which Golden Demon has its own site, y'all. Again, this is content that maybe we don't need in here, but we all love looking at pretty miniature pictures, sure. But there's a whole literal website, goldendemon.com. Go check it out. They have all of the stuff in here for all the Golden Demon winners, all the way back. I think they started in 2016, but they definitely went back and started adding more and more content to it. More stuff in here on Black Library, and then there is a section on art, which is cool. Very, very good stuff here. There's a huge battle report for Age of Sigmar. The Blanchitsu is on point once again. Of course, I love reading Blanchitsu. This is more of a follow-up to that really great looking terrain and such that they brought over, and this is a different warband in here for them. All great conversions, all great looking stuff. I love, you know, really digging into this and kind of seeing all the crazy stuff that people have really been inspired by, all that Blanchitsu or John Blanche artwork, and even his conversions, you know, that where this whole thing comes from are amazing to look at. More in here on Blackstone Fortress, and then here is how to play the Gargant kind of setup and rules and things, and then how to move them. So that's kind of cool if you want that documentation. There's the Cerastus Knight banner. We had seen this part previewed on Warhammer Community. This part is new, so we didn't know the points on the back here for the separate classes right there. So you can take a picture of this or print this out, color photograph, put it on, you know, some hard cardstock if you want, or you can get a pack of 6 of these for $6 or for $15 from GW Mail Order, which I kind of personally feel like it's solid of them to put it in here, and I do not want to talk that down whatsoever. But the time and effort, if you're not just going to print it on a piece of paper, I feel like just buy the cards, you know, because professionally done and printed things for $15 where you're going to fiddle with it and cut and paste, man, just buy the cards, you know what I'm saying? But it's really good that they put it in here, and I think that's really solid on Games Workshop's part to really be cognizant of the fact that they put out a kit that for a week we kind of didn't know the rules for. But I had no doubt that they would do something on that, and that's really cool to see. So we'll probably see more of the Cerastus banner. Obviously there's 2 more coming out. We know there's a new Reaver Battle Titan coming out, and I would imagine at some point we're going to see a lot more for Titanicus going into the near future. Here's Paint Splatter, and there's a lot in this Paint Splatter. I love it. They've got the new Necromunda gang. You've got lots and stuff. Oh wow, I thought there was way more than this. Was there not more? It's just 2. I am getting high on my own supply. I thought there was a lot more Paint Splatter. Well, anyways, so there's 2 in here, and they're not bad, to be quite honest. Like, you don't really see this kind of color pattern unless you're looking at Dark Eldar very often, so that's kind of neat to see. And then the Gandalf the white paint scheme. Obviously, white is one of those colors that's very hard to paint, along with red and yellow, so it's really nice to see them put that in here. And just to comment for a quick second, doing this type of cloak, you see it a lot on like Black Templars and Death, or not Death Watch. Well, I guess Death Watch too, but more Dark Angel stuff. It's a very striking look, but very hard to do. And the fact that they lay it out and show you how to do it is really cool, because this is very hard to do. It's deceptively hard to do, and I like that they put it in here. Then you got readers models and stuff like that. And in the very back, they have a little mini battle report on the dwarves versus the giant there, and then we have some previews on what will be coming in next month, January's White Dwarf. So Age of Sigmar Skirmish looks to be making some sort of return. I think there was a separate book on that here not too long ago, so I don't know what that's about. Return to Index Astartes is very eager for that one because that really set the stage for a lot of fluff on all 20 of the, well, I guess 18 of the chapters or the legions that were part of the Horus Heresy or around during the time of the Horus Heresy. They developed all that in White Dwarf articles before, back in the early 2000s, before they even started the Horus Heresy novels, and that's where a lot of the chapters were even mentioned for the first time. So, you know, chapters like Ravengard, they switched around some of the things, like originally the Emperor's Children were the 20th Legion. Well, now they're the 3rd Legion. The Alpha Legion is the 20th Legion. So a lot of stuff got retconned, a lot of stuff got brought into line, and I'm really eager to see what they do here with that as well. And you can find those Index Astartes still on eBay. There's 4 different books, and they're really good reads if you got the time and you got, you know, a couple extra dollars to try to seek them out. They're definitely worth checking out from the early 2000s. So that appears to be it. We know Marneus Calgar is on the way. Hopefully the Wrath and Glory box, or excuse me, not Wrath and Glory, Wrath and Rapture box will be out towards the end of the month, because I believe the preview said December, but no official confirmation on that yet from Games Workshop. So long story short, I think it's a great issue. Tons of bonus content. Can't go wrong with that. You know, on all sorts of games besides 40K, but don't be mad about that, because to be quite honest, 40K might have a little bit of bloat right now, so I'm okay with them just putting this much stuff in here. And to be honest, if you haven't checked out Warhammer Underworlds yet, great game. Titanicus, even better game. I always joke that it's probably the best game that you'll never play because it's such a high price tag to entry, but I guarantee you what, well, let me just conclude with this. What game from Games Workshop in the recent memory can you say is so good it doesn't even have an FAQ yet? And that's right, Adeptus Titanicus does not have an FAQ yet. That's how good it is. It might need it, but mostly I think it's good right now. As they introduce more and more stuff, it may need an actual FAQ, but for right now, nearly 6 months into its existence, no FAQ. That's how good of a game it is. And we'll conclude with that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment or troll these videos.
Spiky bits.